Welcome to the Learning Lounge. Today we're learning about the universal design for learning. This is where we'll introduce the topic about universal design for learning, where we ensure that every learner, anywhere, any place, doesn't matter if either they are disabled, enabled, or as we would say, abled differently, you are able to access learning materials and be able to learn really well, just as any other normal person. So today, let's go directly to studies today. And first, I would want to introduce to you the first pictures that I have in my first slide. And what comes to your mind when you see this? The first picture shows us about something. It's a ramp access actually, where everyone is able to access. We've been to maybe supermarkets or even in our institutions, we do have the ramp access. And in our second picture, we have two pictures. We have the picture that we've had a caption that it is written equality, and the other one is equity. So as you can see, in our first picture, we have ramp access. This enables anyone, if you're normal in your walking, if you can be able to walk properly, you can be able to use the ramp access. If you are not able to walk with your legs, maybe you're using a wheelchair, you can be able to have your wheelchair pushed, or you can, with these others that are able to go by itself, or you can be able to push it by yourself through the enabled automatic way. You can be able to access the premises, maybe a supermarket or a school. So you see, at the end of the day, everyone will be able to go to that place and do whatever the business they had there. So it is universal at the end of the day. On this other side, we have equality and equity. For equality, we have people who are trying to look over the fence to see, maybe they are watching a football match on the other side, but if you are short, you will not be able to see. That is what we call equality, because it is equal to everyone. You can be able to, if you are tall, you can be able to look over the fence, but if you are short, you will not be able to. That is equality. For equity, which I think, it is the measure in our universal design for learning, we ensure that if you are short, for as we can see in this picture, we try to have you stand on a raised ground, more raised than the taller person. So at the end of the day, all these three guys here are able to look over the fence and be able to see what's happening on the other side. So equity is very important. It is fairness. Equity is equals to fairness. So let's proceed to our next slide. So what is universal design for learning? You can ask yourself, what is universal design for learning? So universal design for learning is the design of instruction for all students to use without the need of adaptation or specialized design. UDL is able to promote strong yet flexible foundation to meet broader range of diverse abilities, disabilities, ethnicities, language skills, and learning styles. So, what inspired UDL? What was behind the UDL? How did it came up to be? As we can see from the writing by Basham and et al. 2020. So universal design for learning was derived from UD, which was originated from architects' perspective on creating building plans that were universally accessible for everyone. That's how universal design came about to be. As how we've seen even from the pictures that we shared from our first slide, when we saw about the ramp access, what was behind the coming up of a ramp access in institutions? It's because we know and we are private to the fact that we are all abled differently. and we also need those services, whether you're disabled, enabled, you need those services. So we need all to be able to access whatever it is that is in a building, so as whatever it is in also in our institutions, whatever the materials the trainers are sharing, it should be able to be accessed by everyone anywhere without the barriers or being barred by the disabilities or someone's inability to maybe work or hear or even see. So let's proceed. Examples of universal design in the physical world. We have, as we have said, we would start with the ramp access. Ramp access is a very, very good example uh, of a universal design. It's very universal because everyone will be able to use the ramp access. We have also wider doors that it doesn't matter if you how you walk, how you the size of your body, you can be able to go through the doors. We have also flat entrances. We have elevators, which has really come in handy to have people who maybe they have problems in their legs. They're able to get to even the higher floors. So those are the examples. We also have museums that allows visitors to choose to listen to or read descriptions. We have web pages that provide alternative text to read images. So if you can't see, you have screen readers, so you can be able to read a website using screen readers, and universally we will all be able to learn new things in our spaces that exist right now. So brain research. Individuals bring huge variety of skills, needs, and interests to learning. So because there should be a process, or there is a process of how people are able to learn. For you to learn, you need to be able to see, or rather, if you can't see, you can perceive. But how can that happen? There has been research, brain research, on how we come about to know something, and they are really unique. They are really unique, like our fingerprints or our DNA. So provide multiple. There are principles of uh, brain brain research. So the first principle is provide multiple means of presentation. So provide options for perception, because now we're dealing with universal design. So there should be options for people to perceive something. For instance, even for trainers, if they're training in class, there should be a variety of ways to ensure they capture the interest of every learner. There are learners who are maybe slow learners. There are people, when they see, they learn. But when they just hear being read by a trainer, they might not be able to grasp what is happening. But those that are able to see maybe charts drawn on the board, or even simulations, maybe the students can be taken to a real world existing thing for maybe an agricultural tour to a certain agricultural farm. You can be able to see how things are done, how wind is measured, how a lot of things are done, and many students will be able to perceive the knowledge more than when it is just read in theory. Also, there should be options for languages, mathematical expressions, and symbols. And that's the first principle. The second principle is provide multiple means of action and expression. Provide options for physical actions, provide options for expression and communication, and provide options for execution functions. Yes, that's the principle number 2, according to brain research. Also, there is the principle number 3, and the last one, provide multiple means of engagement, i.e. provide options for recruiting interest, provide options for sustaining effort and persistence, provide options for self-regulation. Yes, that's according to brain research. This will be able to ensure that you have been able to capture the different parts, because for us to learn, there are different parts of the brain that make us learn about something, depending on how you are learning. Maybe you are participating in the learning, you're doing something practically. The way it is being perceived in your brain is not the same when you're reading about something. You want to learn something, but you're reading it. But you want also to learn something, but you're doing it yourself, will be totally different on how it will be perceived from your brain. So, for example, if a trainer wants to teach about a new lesson or a new practical lesson, they first introduce to ensure that the students know what is being taught, what they are going to learn, and then after the theoretical knowledge, they can be taken to uh, a, a real site, a simulation of some sort, for the students now to perceive the knowledge while seeing those things, touching and using all the senses, so they will be able to really have the knowledge remain in their brains more than when they just learn theoretically. So they will be able to have it processed. So those students that maybe cannot be able to grasp the knowledge from the theoretical knowledge, they will be able to now connect with a real world example or a simulation or any other different options that exist out there. So let us proceed. Technology's role in UDL. Technologies have come in to play a very big role, a really pivotal role in enabling the universal design for learning. For instance, when designing nowadays a website or an application, you would really consider to have an icon that communicates whatever is contained in the applications. For instance, if you are designing if a designer is designing an application to vote, let's say the students want to vote in their leaders, there might be an online voting, and when you see the application, you can be able to tell that this is a voting application because of the pictures, that the icon that it has there, the pictures that come with the process of voting. So the technology has really come in handy to have UDL really play a very uh, even be able to learn so quickly. So there are applications that have really enabled universal design for learning to be a success up to now. For instance, there are applications such as Moodle. Moodle has enabled the trainers to create content for the students that really makes it so possible for the students to access wherever they are, and other applications such as Google Meet. So, potential impact of universal design on student learning. Students will have equal opportunities to learn. As we have talked about Moodle, Moodle can enable a trainer to create uh, content for students wherever they are. Students may be in a different place, really far, maybe they are not in a physical environment. The universal design for learning has been promoted or improved by these tools. So also the effect of UDL on students is that educational gap has been closed. So there is no gap between the disabled and the enabled. Behavioral issues in the class will decline because you're not necessarily supposed to come to class. Students will be more engaged in the lesson, builds flexibility into the curriculum, and increase creativity. So brain research on learning differences. Our brain processes information by distributing the process of learning into different parts of the places of the brain based on task, and if the learner level is beginner or expert. Before teachers can properly design a UDL, they must allow their students to take a learning style assessment. Yeah, if you understand how your students are able to grasp different knowledge, because they are not the same, they can never be the same. So the students will be, one student is able to grasp something more faster than the other one. If you learn your students, you will be able to design a really universal content for your students. So we proceed. UDL supports cultural, ethnic, linguistic, and academic diversity. It reduces the barrier, engages all students, ensures that all students can learn. So online tools for teachers, contribution. So the contribution of online tools for teachers. It has been, as we have said, accessibility, flexibility, personalized learning, where you schedule your own time on whatever time you want to learn. You can be able to personalize collaborative and interactive learning. For instance, you create a Google Meet and you meet with the students, so you can be able to collaborate. Students can also have their own groups where they learn and have their groups and group work done, so they can be able to collaborate, and it's very interactive. So thank you for your time, and these are my references for the studies today, and bye bye.